My name is Sri Kurniawan, and in our lab, we build games and virtual reality for health and well-being. It's great to work with undergraduate students because they're very well informed about the newest games and the newest virtual reality technology.
I'm involved in the VR game development for children with special needs in order to make therapy more accessible and more fun for the children.
I work on creating technologies that are more people-focused, so it's easier for users to use technology.
So I've gotten to work with really awesome emerging technologies like virtual reality, using haptic feedback, and it's really been a nice individualized mentorship and learning environment for me to apply these skills to real-world problems.
By participating in community research, they got real-world experience about solving real-world problems.
My research focuses on the development of virtual reality games to help preteens with cleft lip and/or palate in developing self-confidence.
I fell in love with research here as an undergrad. I liked it so much that I came back after industry to start my PhD. I work on designing immersive virtual worlds to help people exercise. How can we create these games that help translate these exercises to make them a little bit more fun and engaging?
Hi, my name is David. I run the Tech for Good lab where I do research in social computing. I'm specifically interested in how computing can support the future of education, work, and community engagement. I work with 50 to 60 undergraduate students each quarter on all sorts of different projects. Most students are motivated by picking up skills, trying to learn how to engage in user research or interface design or web development in real-world projects. What they find is that they get so much more out of it. They learn how to work with teams. They learn how to mentor other people. They start digging into research and thinking about what makes an idea really innovative and novel, what's at the cutting edge.
I think the best advice I can give is to not be afraid to reach out to your professors or even other faculty who you may not know. If you're even just remotely interested in their work or really want to learn something new.
I was initially worried that I wouldn't have enough time in the semester to participate in lab work. But actually what I found is that from the support of my instructors, it all worked out.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Walker.
Marilyn A. Walker is a professor of computer science and head of the Natural Language and Dialogue Systems Lab at the University of California, Santa Cruz.
I try to develop models that will help a computer have a conversation with you, like Alexa does or Siri. Within 4 or 5 weeks, students actually have things that they can do that seem real. And then a lot of times I hire students out of that class, undergrads out of that class, into my lab to do stuff, and I think they find it really exciting.
Most of my work is focused on using engineering principles to solve biological and robotics problems. It's really good to dream about possible application in the future, but if we cannot actually have an engineer to implement them, probably they're not going to ever be useful. Students are young, they have fresh ideas, and they have a very interesting way of looking at the same problem.
My research focuses on robotics, particularly if you look at traditional robotics. They tend to be quite rigid. People have become interested in soft robotics and having flexible materials that are more like what you see in nature.
I work on internet-connected devices, so basically whole bunches of microscopes that connect to the internet so you can look at them remotely. We use that to spy on cell cultures that grow, so brain cell cultures that we grow in incubators.
Also, we have external collaborators, which could be the other research institutes around the world. NASA Ames, for example, is very close by. In some of the projects, the students are spending the summer over there and they are bringing the research back.
And start with something that you can do in the lab and build up your skills to a goal that you have in the future.
Because once you have your foot in the door, you can just keep learning and building on that experience as your college experience goes on.
Just say to not be afraid of your professors. I was always scared because they were the ones that were grading me, but they're just normal people behind their desk in their office hours, and they just have a normal conversation.
What I love working most with students is seeing their growth over the quarter and the years. And just seeing how they grow to become leaders and experts makes me really excited and makes it so rewarding.
Well, if you want to get involved in this research, just come to me, come to the graduate students, come to the undergraduate students that are already involved. We always need new people.